Morning.
Morning.
I'm Schuyler Wight from Goldsmith. I paid my own way to be here. I'm not representing anybody but myself. I've got a lot of questions about this Oxy thing. Oxy, as I understand it, is part of the investigation in that well in that North County unit. Y'all discovered that Oxy had a pattern of filing false tests, and that
Excuse me. You want to borrow these?
no, I got these right. I just use half of them so they last longer. Anyway, the Oxy has a pattern of filing these false tests, and they weren't calling the Railroad Commission to schedule these tests. This was not the only well they were filing false tests on. So my question on this is, you find them, but how much the fine does the landowner get? The landowner has a stake in that. This mechanical integrity test is supposed to protect our groundwater. This is a private property issue. This is our property. Don't we get to participate in this fine? If somebody breaks into your house and steals your stuff, do you get your stuff back? Does Oxy get to clean up the water that they pollute? Do we get paid? Do we get compensated for the groundwater that we pollute? No, all that money goes to the state. Why do you leave the landowner out of this process? Since I started working on Oxy plugged over 100 wells on the ranch. Many of these wells would probably have failed the MIT, but we'll never know because they never tested. They plugged the wells before you could get out there and test the darn things. A lot of these wells were drilled before World War II. They don't have surface casing. Back then, there wasn't a requirement to put surface casing in those wells. So there was no protection of the groundwater. They were allowed to operate for years with wells that wouldn't pass an MIT. Why do you ignore the landowners on this? The H10 filings. The H10 filings that these companies turn in are designed, among other things, to pull up red flags that show which wells need to be paid attention to, how much water they're injecting. These wells have supposed to monitor the casing pressure on the annulus, and they're supposed to catch these problems before they happen. Why does your system not have a set of checks and balances in there to draw attention to those red flags and pull those wells out that need to be tested, that need to be watched? A lot of companies that operate under Railroad Commission's jurisdiction are on a must-witness list. Is Oxy on that list? As I said, I've got a lot of questions about this. This fiasco ought to bring attention to the fact that companies large and small are filing false forms with the Railroad Commission. It's not just the little companies, the big companies are doing it too. Landowners need to be in the loop on this so that they can witness these tests. This is a private property issue, pure and simple. The landowners need to be in the loop. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.